Okay, so this week I started by adding a low pass and a high pass filter. Um, and basically, what a filter does is it gets rid of certain frequencies of sound you don't want. So, a low pass filter is going to get rid of any um, frequencies higher than a certain cutoff frequency, and then a high pass is going to get rid of um, any frequencies lower than a certain cutoff frequencies. And I use a couple filters out of the Maximilian um, library, which we used also to make our oscillators. And I had to choose 1.0 here represents a resonance frequency, and that means it's basically a multiplier for when you get close to the cutoff. It increases the amplitude of the sound. I didn't want to have any extra amplitude there, so I just made them 1. And so the way that those look real quick, so the low pass controls the cutoff frequency as well as the high pass frequency. So that's how those will sound. I also added a low frequency oscillator, which it's here is the LFO. And what an LFO is for is it's a oscillator that's below 20 hertz, and that's kind of a sound that's too low to hear, but it's useful for controlling different parameters for a different sound. So I'm using it to control, um, kind of alter the frequency of sound. So it's called frequency modulation. And so I've added that here, and you can control what the frequency is with this slider. And so what that does is it will change the frequency as in a sine wave formula. So you can see it kind of modulates that. Um, and then that didn't take as long as I thought it would this week, so I did a few extra things. First, I took care of what's called artifacting. I did some anti-artifacting, and I have a function here, de-artifacting, and then this one, increase ramp params. And what I'm doing is when we change the gain or the low pass or high pass cutoff frequencies, before, since we're using this slider, those changes will be instantaneous. You'll get these little pops or cracks when you change really fast. So I added these kind of ramps where over the length of a buffer it will change from one maybe volume to the next or one cutoff to another. And so this solution got rid of any artifacting. So when I hold a note and move this around, you don't hear cracks or pops. And then lastly, we had another effect that Sam added uh, that we're going to call the garble. And we didn't have a button look and feel set up yet, so I went ahead and did that. And so this button here, I just did the look and feel to kind of make it fit in with the rest of the knobs and dials in the main visual area. And that class is right here. And so I'm basically just getting the bounds of that button and making it draw an ellipse. And I set the color based on whether it's on or off. And so yeah, that's what I did this week.